Fred Richani, TSC News, your home for combat sports news updates, interviews, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm here post-fight, Triple G versus Rolls. Gennady Golovkin with a dominant fourth-round knockout, face-planting Steve Rolls, who was game the first 3 rounds, but unfortunately it didn't go his way. This was Gennady Golovkin's return to Madison Square Garden, his first fight in 9 months since the controversial Canelo loss, the second Canelo fight, and he is aiming at a third fight, a trilogy which will define his boxing career. But in the meantime, let's check out some highlights and hear from the winners of tonight's action.
Thank you very much, all people who support me today, who come today, because it's good for boxing, not just for me, for boxing, because the second step is much bigger. Thank you my team, thank you Garden family, just my partners, everybody support me today. I feel great. Just my first win after my comeback. I feel very happy. My smile all day.
Michael?
Question, could you give yourself a grade, A, B, plus, B, and then also can you tell us about that left hook delivered from the lefty stance? Did you work on that with Mr. Banks, and did you know that was going to be there, or was that a spur of the moment? So first question, could you give yourself a grade, and then can you tell us about that left hook that ended it?
Just я не могу себя сейчас оценивать. Как я себя могу оценить? То есть вы должны это сделать.
How can I grade myself? You should grade me.
I feel not bad. Just I want to try maybe a little bit boxing. Just not so interesting. First couple of rounds, I still like nothing. Yeah.
Straight back, Gennady.
Oh.
I was going to ask you about Canelo, since that was the conversation in the ring afterwards when everybody has been talking about Tom and with Johnathon before you got here. How do you think your performance tonight, what he would think about it? He saw you twice. You scored a great knockout. You worked your body very well. You also got hit with some shots that one shot in the second round. Do you think that you gave him, Canelo Alvarez, a reason to say, sign me up, or gave him a reason to say, maybe I'm not so interested?
Yeah, I tried today, you're right. And I tried a couple times, for body work. I don't have time. Just only 2 or 3 rounds. This is nothing.
But did you make your point to him, or did you make him want the rematch or not want the rematch? Third fight.
Я не думаю, что я ему показал что-то. Я хочу этого боя, это самое главное. То есть, и все, я думаю, что все хотят этот бой увидеть. То есть, этот бой будет следующий, как его можно отталкиваться даже от этого боя. Это совсем разные вещи.
I don't think I show him. I wanted to show him, demonstrate anything. This is a different story. This fight and the other fight. Let's not even talk and compare this fight to the other fight.
Gennady, this question is for Gennady Golovkin. Xavier Porter, BrooklynFights.com, Super 5 in the building. Over here, Gennady.
Yeah.
Triple G this way, to the left.
Right left.
Here we go. Same way you do the left hook, over here. All right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Quick question. You mentioned after the fight, the post-fight conference that you said after the second round, you kind of, realized that you had him, that you were ready to take him out. Was the strategy, or did you feel as if that you were beginning to, break him down in the sense that he started to open up to allow you to land your power punches even easier?
Yeah, I feel him. I feel distance. I feel timing. After second round, I come back to my corner and tell Johnathon, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Because, he's a little bit open, I give him a little bit couple chance, he's open, I see next round, and start working, just so close fight, so we don't have a lot of time, just 3 rounds, it's nothing.
4 rounds. How do you rate his power? Because you did get hit a few times in the ring.
I don't feel it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey, this is boxing.
Yeah.
Gennadiy, great performance. Dan Canobio with CompuBox TV. I don't know if you saw this tweet. Oscar De La Hoya tweeted after the fight. Nice with the thumbs up emoji. Comeback win. Now fight a real fighter. Win a belt. I'll consider doing a 3rd fight. Hashtag Canelo is your boss. I want to see your thoughts on that.
Вообще ничего не думаю. Мне что думать об этом? Мне he talks so much, he back talk, you know, and I'm thinking about for he said Oscar, you know, I'm thinking about like, you know, what, что он делает, как он выглядит. Мне вообще это не интересно.
Not really interested what Oscar is doing, what Oscar is saying. I'm not really interested in that at all.
Я не увлекаюсь мужчинами, как бы, если он, мне вообще без разницы.
I don't really like, following men, not about following men at all.
So safe to say you're not going to tweet anything back?
Мне что ему написать? То есть, ну, вот его мнение.
What do you think I should write him back?
You look good, you're a smart guy, what do you think?
I would probably say something back, maybe, hey, on my
Come on, he doesn't know me. Just forget it.
I think that's a lot of posturing from Oscar.
This is hype, this is hype today. Oscar, just forget it.
Yeah, and it's clearly the biggest fight for Canelo is Triple G. There's no denying that. And before we get to the next question, I just want to acknowledge Ali Akhmedov, who had also a tremendous performance on the show tonight. Ali also trains with Johnathon Banks. Max Golovkin actually was a chief trainer because it was the co-feature right before the fight, but Johnathon is his trainer, and Ali had a breakout performance also as the co-feature. So now everyone up here on the podium is open for questions.
Fought here in America and especially at MSG a few times now over the past years. Have you looked back at your time here with pride because you've come from where you've come from and be able to come over the world and sell a lot of tickets and develop a fan base and win titles?
Я очень признателен болельщикам, то есть никакой вид спорта не обходится без болельщиков. Если болельщики действительно есть, это же прекрасный вид спорта. Мне что гордиться, это же здорово для спорта.
I really appreciate my fans. Why should I be proud of them? I really appreciate it. It's important for athletics, for sports, for boxing. The fans are the most important thing.
And lastly, if you could map out, if you could map out the future of how your future fights would go and how your career would like to end, how would you like it to end?
Right now I have 6 fights with DAZN deal. 6 fights. Just every step very important for me. Probably I hope next fight in September with Canelo.
Hey, Golovkin, over here. You stated that you wanted a rematch with Canelo in September. If you're unable to get that rematch with Canelo, Abel Sanchez has stated that you would love to avenge that loss. Would you consider giving him a rematch, perhaps?
Sorry, can you repeat who you mentioned?
They're saying that if he's unable to get that rematch with Canelo by September, is Abel Sanchez perhaps a potential opponent that?
Нет, но сейчас вы говорите о тех людей, которые уже прошли и показали себя. То есть есть ребята, бойцов, кто стоял хорошо в рейтинге, кто чемпионы. То есть давайте о них думать в первую очередь.
You're talking about fighters who were already sort of passé, we already saw them, already fought them. But there are a lot of new fighters, very highly rated fighters. Let's talk about that.
Thank you, sir.
I have 2 questions. First is, in your last fight against Canelo, it said that he came out a little bit slow in the beginning. Did you have a plan to come out a little bit quicker this time?
Seriously, I don't feel. Yeah, next fight, every fight is different.
Okay, and my second question is, if Canelo called you and said he wants to fight, if he says he wants to fight you at 160 or 168, does it matter to you what weight he wants, or you'll fight him at any weight?
Это мы сейчас разговариваем о деталях бизнеса, то есть там же за 160 стоят пояса, то есть если мы пояса не нужны, то есть там много нюансов, то есть это надо все оговаривать, как я могу сказать, мне без разницы, то есть это же бизнес, это бокс.
So we're talking about fine business detail. At 160 we have belts, so we have to talk about belts. 168 is a different story. So let's not talk about detail yet.
Yeah. Thanks.
When you came here to announce this fight, you told me personally, you said that the most honest boxing is something that happens in Madison Square Garden. So with that said, if you were to get the third fight to Canelo, Tom, well, do you want that third fight here in Madison Square Garden? And Tom, do you think that's going to be an issue?
Yeah, I want because it's different people, different atmosphere.
I think also to expand on what Gennady said and to go back to that last question, there's no reason to speculate on other opponents besides Canelo. It's Gennady's, what he's stated is his priority to make the third Canelo fight until we exhaust that. And I want to acknowledge Melissa Moscow and John Hornauer who are here in the audience. Like I said, the team will sit down and try to make that fight. So no reason to speculate. Naturally, Canelo fought here, Gennady fought here. We do have met with James Dolan this week, and he said if there's a way to bring it here, he'll do everything he can to bring it here. So if there is a way, this is probably the most neutral place since Canelo fought here and Triple G fought here for that fight to take place. We're going to wrap up here. We'll take one more question. I know, Mike, you've been waiting. We'll take one more question, and then we'll let these guys go home.
Gennady. Also heard that it's possible you can fight in Texas against Canelo Alvarez. So do you enjoy that?
Опять же, это детали, те, которые стоит обсуждать. То есть, как я сейчас могу сказать, то есть, мы сейчас, будем боксировать в Техасе, то есть мы в отличных отношениях. Сейчас Madison Square Garden делает большую работу, чтобы этот бой состоялся здесь. То есть мы не слышали еще предложения никакого с Техаса. То есть это уже все в процессе. Давайте поговорим чуть позже. То есть оно имеет быть, но чуть позже поговорим об этом.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, we know about Texas, but it's maybe a little too early, a little too premature to talk about that. It's a business proposal. Right now we're in Madison Square Garden, and they really try to make this next fight possible. So let's talk about Texas when we hear from Texas.
To be clear, though, you definitely don't want to go back to Vegas after the judge.
Знаете, я вам откровенно скажу, что у меня есть осадок от того, что творится в Вегасе. Мне просто, не то, что я прям не хочу принципиально, но у меня большой осадок от того, что там случилось.
It's not like, in principle, I don't like to go to Vegas, but I have some bad feeling and bad impression about it.
Correct. Some bad feeling and some bad scores. Right.
Yeah.
Just curious, we're talking about Canelo, we're talking about Daniel Jacobs. I know they're fighting in June. You face Andrade or Ceballo, depending on the winner of that fight.
Can you speak a little louder? It's difficult to hear here.
I know everyone's talking about Canelo, and everyone's talking about Jacobs. Would you be interested in Ceballo or Andrade fight, depending on the winner of that in June?
В зависимости от того, что выиграет этот бою, и хотели бы с Андрадо проводить.
Ну я же ответил сейчас на этот вопрос. То есть я же говорю, есть ряд ребят, которые не битые, которые чемпионы. Они в первую очередь стоят в очереди. Чем мы сейчас будем говорить, а возвращаться к какому-то, то есть поднимать какие-то имена.
Already answered this question. There are some undefeated young, interesting fighters. That they should be a priority, not to come back to those fighters we already know.
Я говорю, он стоит в том же ряду, что в принципе и Чарло. Ну как вот сейчас вот я вам скажу, давайте я буду драться с Конрадо, а что с Чарло? Сейчас вот люди начнут раскачивать за Чарло. Я скажу, буду драться с Чарло, будут говорить за Андрадо. То есть, ну я сейчас не найду с вами, то есть общий язык. Вы сейчас провокационные вопросы задаете. Кто из них будет готов, обязательно мы, то есть сейчас в приоритете стоит Канело. Если не Канело, то будем разговаривать с ними.
It's kind of a provocative question because if I said Andrade, you know, then Charlo will ask why not Charlo. If I say Charlo, Andrade say why not Andrade. Now priority is Canelo, so then we can talk about others as well.
We'll wrap it up here with
Yeah,
this.
Gennady, this is Big Will from Sidestep Boxing. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Ali is your fighter under Triple G Promotions. How happy and impressed are you of him tonight as the co-main event?
I'm very proud of him. You know, not first belt, it's WBC International Intercontinental. You know, just I like he has a dream. Just I help him come to his dream. That's it. You know, just 100% his turn. You know, he win today. Good job today. You know, good fight. He looks good. I'm very proud of him.
Let's give, on that note, let's give Ali an opportunity just to speak, and applause also. So, Ali, great performance. You beat a undefeated 15-0 fighter. How did you feel fighting at Madison Square Garden as the co-feature to Triple G?
Я чувствую себя отлично, чувствую себя превосходно. Я счастлив.
I feel myself great, I feel perfect, and I'm very happy.
What was the biggest difference dealing with DAZN, which is a streaming app, coming from HBO for both of you guys, as a promoter and as a fighter?
HBO had a storied history of 45 years of broadcasting the best fights in boxing. It's so many historic champions, championship fights, biggest level events. So by the time Triple G made his HBO debut in 2012, that was like a well-oiled machine. Anytime you said you fought on HBO, you knew you finally made it to the big time. With DAZN, you got to give DAZN credit. They've really shaken up the boxing world, the world of boxing, because in less than a year, they're putting on stars like Canelo, like Anthony Joshua, like Triple G. So they've really made a huge shift in the sport of boxing, as well as not being on the traditional platform on television, broadcast platform, but on streaming, which they want to reach an even broader audience than your traditional television platform. So naturally there's going to be some growing pains, but we're impressed with the overall strategy of DAZN. And we look forward to many more fights on their platform.
I feel like there's only like a new generation is coming, you know, new blood for sport, not just for boxing, for everything. It's next level.
Much more interesting and better than ESPN Plus and some other streaming platform. Talking about this one.
There were some great performances on the undercard. Want to highlight one of them. Local kid here from Brooklyn, New York, tremendous amateur. Put on a great performance tonight. He knew, just like Brian said in the ring afterwards, I told him if he wants to get on this show at Madison Square Garden on Triple G show, he's got to fight someone tough. And the way he boxed so beautifully against such a big puncher, a guy that was 14-0 with 12 knockouts. Brian only had 8 fights. But he showed his heart, he showed his ring IQ, his boxing ability. So I want to have Brian Ceballo say a few words to the media, and then you guys can ask questions for either Tim, Van Newhouse's manager, or Brian about his performance.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure to fight here in Madison Square Garden. I'm so grateful and so honored to be on such a stage like this. Thank you to everyone, to my team, Colin Morgan, my coach, Tim Van Newhouse, Tom Loeffler, Triple G Promotions, 360 Promotions, and just everyone that came out. I felt great tonight. I felt like tonight was the first time that I fully made the transition between amateurs and pros. I felt really comfortable in there. really confident. My coach and I, we've been working extremely hard on that, and I think we proved the point tonight. This guy, all he does is come forward. We stuck to the game plan, changed the angles, pushed him back a little bit, which he has never been pushed back, and we saw exactly what happened. I take my hat off to him because he did exactly what he had to do. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I guess to answer your first question. Everything went great in training camp, but in a fight, I'm always looking for certain things in the fight. I didn't expect Triple G or any fighter that we have such a short camp to repeat everything we did in the gym or stuff like that, because although you try to get guys as closest to the style of your opponent, but a lot of times you're a little bit off. And Steve Rose, like I said, while he's in there, he started catching Triple G with some shots that was very uncomfortable for me, because I wanted him to start off with the type of rhythm, with using his jab. But other than that, I think as he got warmed up, you was able to see the little bit of rhythm that he had. He started throwing shots, he started shooting his jab, and he started catching them with shots. And that was the goal, just to start touching them. We ain't got to hit a home run the first time out. Just start touching them, and slowly break them down. So that was the goal, and I believe that's what he was able to accomplish.
Steve, did you want him to go rounds tonight? Right. Did you want him to go rounds tonight?
Well, I always told him, in boxing, you don't get paid by the rounds, you get paid by the fight. So if you ended it, if it's over early, you just got more work to do in the gym. So that I don't try to take chances and say, you know what, we got a certain amount of rounds, ideally we want to go. I said, no, to me, every opponent is dangerous, and the sooner you get it out, the sooner you get the fight over with, the better.
Hey, Johnathon, what was the biggest bad habit that you had to get Triple G out of?
I think every fighter got bad habits. I don't look at him to see what bad habits got to change or what bad habits do we have. I can't think of one fighter that didn't have any bad habits. It's all about what habits what the fighter does, what can the fighter do most that he could be most successful in. Instead of looking to tear the fighter down, the goal is to build him up and to keep him on a certain level that I know he's on. So for me, that's the goal, is to get him to getting better at doing good habits instead of looking at his flaws and try to point him out saying you can't do this, you can't do that, because you lose the fight in translation like that. You know, as soon as you get a fighter, you start breaking him down. If he have any type of self-esteem, he just lost it. And now you got to try. Now you trying to feel like why the kid won't throw no punches, because you just took everything he had, he thought was good away from him, told him it was bad. Now you got to give him something to do. So for me, the goal is be very precise, be very on point with what I want to do, but yet you can construct, but just in a mild mannered way, so the kid can learn and still be respectful towards you, and you all can grow together. Yes.
When you watch what Triple G did tonight and you think about him being in the ring with Canelo Alvarez instead of Steve Rose, what are the kinds of things that you would want to see him do better? For example, I think somebody mentioned, he didn't really throw a lot of jabs, but he did work the body very well, which he was criticized for in some of those fights against Canelo. So what sorts of things, if you were planning out, because that seems like that probably would be your next fight?
Well, I think first of all, if this was Canelo in the ring tonight, he definitely would have had a longer training camp. So with a longer training camp, the output and the progress will look even different than it did tonight. I think tonight was a good start with a little base. So you can kind of see the foundation that we're trying to lay. And in order to continue, my opinion, in order to build back up a strong, successful house, you must start with the foundation. And that's the goal, is to strengthen his foundation. But like you say, if Canelo was there tonight, then Triple G wouldn't have been there tonight because it wasn't enough time to really dictate the pace of where we want to be with the guy.
And do you think that now until September, whenever your camp will start, is enough time? I've heard fighters say many times it really takes, more than just 1, 2, 3, sometimes, more than that to actually really get on the same page with the trainer. Obviously, you guys are both pros and been around a long time, but you think you can cram it all in between now and September? What you feel like you need to, teach him or change with him?
Well, I don't feel I need to cram in everything, but just like anything else in life, as you go from day to day, you grow. And I think if we can continue to grow together, that would change the outcome of a fight with that magnitude.
Well, as you can hear, as you can see, Gennady Golovkin wants Canelo Alvarez. His promotion wants Canelo Alvarez. And you better believe DAZN, which aired this fight, wants Canelo versus Triple G3. But will we get it? I sure hope so. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about Triple G versus Rolls? What do you think about Triple G versus Canelo 3? Do you think we will get it? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Tweet us, Facebook us. Do what you got to do. If you enjoyed all the highlights you saw tonight, please click the like button. Please share this with all your friends. And until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the fights.